Imagine this. You're scrolling through Instagram or YouTube and you see Norway. Glowing northern lights, peaceful fjords, cozy wooden cabins with candles in every window. Everyone says it's the happiest country in the world. Safe, rich, calm, organized. And you start thinking, wow, I want that life. I want to move there. I want to raise my kids there. I want to escape the noise and chaos of where I live now. But here's the part almost nobody tells you. Behind those beautiful pictures and high happiness rankings, there are shadows. Things you don't see on vacation. Things locals rarely talk about directly. And if you're not ready for them, these hidden sides of Norway can hit harder than the winter wind. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 dark truths about living in Norway that almost no one talks about publicly, but you will definitely feel if you decide to live here long term. This is not about hating on Norway. It's about reality. Because if you're going to move your whole life here, you deserve more than just the fairy tale. Let's start with the first dark truth most foreigners feel almost immediately, even if they can't quite put into words. When you first land in Norway, everything feels calm. No one is yelling in the street, no loud music from cars. People stand quietly in lines. At first, that calm feels magical, but after a few weeks or months, you might notice something else. You can walk through a whole day without anyone really talking to you. Norwegians are not rude. They're polite, they're respectful, but they are also very private. They don't usually start small talk with strangers on the bus. They don't randomly chat in elevators. They don't ask personal questions unless they know you well. So you might find yourself surrounded by people, yet feeling completely invisible. You move into an apartment building. You see your neighbors at the mailbox or in the hallway. You nod, maybe they nod back. And that's it. Months can go by without an actual conversation. You start thinking, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? You try to invite people to coffee or to a small gathering. The responses are polite, but you might feel hesitation, schedules, excuses, or just a quiet, we'll see. After a while, that polite distance can feel like a wall. You begin to feel like a ghost walking through a country that looks alive from the outside, but never really opens fully to you on the inside. And just when you're trying to fight that feeling of isolation, something else arrives that makes everything heavier: the darkness. If you come from a country with a lot of sunshine, Norwegian winters can be a shock to your mind and your body. In many parts of Norway, during the winter, the sun rises late and sets early. You go to work or school in the dark. You come home in the dark. Even in the middle of the day, the light can feel weak and blue, like the sun is tired. At first, you might think, okay, candles, hot chocolate, hygge, this is cozy. And yes, Norwegians are masters at making their homes warm and comfortable in winter. But after weeks and months, you might notice something changing inside you. You wake up tired. You feel heavy for no clear reason. You have less energy to socialize, to exercise, to do the things you used to enjoy. You start craving sugar or comfort food. Some days you just want to stay under the blanket and not face the world at all. For many people, this isn't just a mood. It's seasonal depression. Norwegians know this, and they have their ways of coping. Ski trips, cabin weekends, vitamin D, warm lighting. But as a foreigner, especially in your first years, the darkness can feel like it's sitting on your shoulder, whispering that you're alone, that you don't belong, that this was a mistake. You don't just see the darkness here. Sometimes you truly feel it. And while your emotions are fighting the long, dark winter, your wallet is fighting something else: the relentless cost of living. Norway is an expensive country. That part you probably already know from the internet. But it's different when you actually live it day after day. Groceries are expensive, eating out is expensive, alcohol is extremely expensive. Haircuts, repairs, services, public transport, even simple treats, they all add up. Maybe you get a decent salary. On paper, it looks good, but then you start paying rent, you buy food, you pay for transport, phone, internet, child activities, taxes. Suddenly, that number doesn't feel so big anymore. Instead of feeling rich in a rich country, you might feel like you're just barely keeping things balanced. You go to a cafe and look at the price of a simple coffee and a pastry. You open your banking app and hesitate. Do I really want to spend this much on something so small? You check grocery receipts and think, wait, how did it get this high so fast? That constant mental calculation can be stressful. It can make you feel guilty for enjoying simple pleasures. What many people don't realize is that the pressure of high prices doesn't disappear after a few months. It becomes a quiet background noise in your life. You're always aware of it, always adjusting, always asking yourself if this or that is worth it. And while money is pressing you from one side, something much quieter is pressing you from another. There is an unwritten cultural rule in Norway, often called Janteloven. It's not a law in the books, but you feel it in everyday life. Janteloven basically says, don't think you're better than anyone else, don't brag, don't show off, don't stand out too much. On one level, this keeps society humble and equal. People don't flaunt wealth. They don't usually boast about achievements. But if you come from a more expressive culture, like the United States, this can feel like you have to shrink yourself. Maybe you're used to celebrating your wins loudly. You speak with passion, you set big goals, and talk about them. In Norway, that can sometimes be seen as strange or even a bit arrogant. People might not say anything to your face, but you'll feel the energy in the room. It can make you wonder, am I too much? Should I tone down who I am? This quiet pressure can be especially hard if you're an entrepreneur, an artist, or just naturally outgoing. You may feel like the country is constantly whispering to you, calm down, don't shine too brightly, blend in. And when you already feel like a foreigner, this invisible push to become smaller can be exhausting. You want to be yourself, but you also want to be accepted. That tension is a dark truth many people never talk about until they've lived here for years. Another thing you'll quickly realize is that even though many Norwegians speak excellent English, the real life of the country is still in Norwegian. Work meetings, inside jokes, memes, podcasts, TV shows, local news, comments on social media, casual talk at parties, these are often in Norwegian first, English second. At the beginning, you might feel relieved. Everybody switches to English for you. People are kind. You can get around, buy things, ask for help. But after a while, that kindness can start to feel like a reminder that you are different, that people have to switch languages for you, that you are the foreigner in the room. You go to a party or a work event. People start in English because you're there. But after a few drinks or when the group gets bigger, the conversation slides back into Norwegian. Laughter erupts at a joke you didn't fully understand. Someone summarizes it for you in English, but the moment has already passed. You smile, but you're outside the circle. You decide to learn Norwegian. You study, you practice, you do your best, but then you discover the dialects. Words change from region to region. Pronunciations twist and dance. Even Norwegians sometimes struggle with each other's dialects. So you might learn book Norwegian, but still feel lost when people speak the way they normally do. This can create a permanent feeling of almost belonging. You're always just one step behind the full picture. You're in the country, but you're not really inside the culture. That gap can make the loneliness deeper, especially when combined with the other things you're dealing with. On top of all this, there's a subtle but powerful force in Norwegian society: social control. Not the loud kind, where people yell at you in the street, the quiet kind, where everyone just watches. There are strong expectations for how you behave in public. Don't be too loud. Don't disturb others. Don't break the order. Don't draw unnecessary attention to yourself. Don't break unwritten rules. You might not even know the rules at first. Maybe you talk too loudly on the bus. Maybe you drink in a way that's different from the local drinking culture. Maybe your kids act in a way that's normal where you're from, but not here. No one may come up and explain it to you directly. Instead, you get looks. You feel the mood shift. People become a little colder. Over time, this can create constant self-monitoring. You're always thinking, is this okay? Am I being annoying? Are people judging me right now? Even if no one says a word, you can feel the silent disapproval if you step outside the invisible lines. And if you're raising children, this pressure can feel even stronger. Norway has a very specific parenting culture. Children are given independence early. They walk to school alone. They play outside in all kinds of weather. They're expected to be included equally, and there's a strong focus on fairness and rules. Many parents love this system, but if you were raised differently, or if you come from a culture where adults are more hands-on and protective, you might feel judged. Maybe you dress your child differently. Maybe your expectations for homework, discipline, or respect are not the same as Norwegian norms. You might feel eyes on you at the playground. You might feel like other parents are quietly evaluating your choices. Again, not openly confronting you, but watching. You hear stories about schools or social services stepping in when they think something is wrong, and that can create a constant low-level fear in foreign parents. On top of that, many foreigners living in Norway do not have nearby family, no grandparents around the corner, no cousins to help babysit. It's just you, your partner, and maybe your kids. In a country where everyone tends to stay in their own bubble, that can lead to long evenings where you feel completely alone, even though you have people around you. So you end up in this strange situation. On paper, your life is safe. The streets are clean, the schools are good, the healthcare system works, the government is stable. But inside, your heart might feel unsafe, unsure, and lonely. You look at the mountains and the fjords and think, this is paradise. But then you go home, close the door, and feel the weight of everything I just described. Now, I want to be very clear. This video is not a message saying, don't move to Norway. Norway has amazing strengths: safety, nature, stability, equality, opportunities for kids to grow up in a peaceful environment. For many people, it is absolutely worth it. These dark truths don't cancel the good things. They just complete the picture. The real danger is not Norway itself. The danger is moving here with a fantasy in your head, and then crashing into reality without being prepared. If you know about these challenges in advance, you can plan for them. You can build coping strategies. You can seek support, community, and connection. You can learn the language more intentionally. You can find ways to protect your mental health in winter. You can prepare your expectations about friendships, money, and cultural norms. Some people will absolutely thrive in Norway. They love quiet, they love nature, they appreciate privacy, they don't mind long winters. They're happy with a small circle of close friends. They're willing to work slowly on the language and integrate over time. For them, Norway can truly feel like home. Others will struggle, especially if you are very extroverted, need a big social circle, love sunshine and warmth, or come from a culture where people talk loudly, express emotions openly, and make friends quickly. For you, Norway might feel like living in a beautiful museum, amazing to look at, but not always easy to live in. None of these dark truths are impossible to handle, but you can't handle what you don't know exists. So now that you've heard them, which of these realities surprised you the most? Was it the social distance, the darkness, the cost of living, the pressure not to stand out, the language barrier, the social control, or the isolation families can feel? If you already live in Norway, I'd love to hear your experience. Do you agree with these points? Did I miss something important? Let me know in the comments, because your story might really help someone who is thinking about moving here. And if you're still curious about life in Norway, especially compared to the United States, make sure you don't stop here. Go watch my other video where I talk about how Norway can feel calm while America feels loud in daily life. And the culture shocks on both sides. That way, you get both the beauty and the struggle, the light and the dark. If this video opened your eyes or helped you think more clearly about your decision, please take a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's dreaming about moving to Norway. It might be the reality check they need before they book that one-way ticket. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.